Hey guys, Stef here, I hope you're doing well. In today's video, we are here in the new 2021 Mini John Cooper Works, and in this video we're going to talk about this car. I'm going to do a first drive review of it, and also I'm going to touch on why Abarth should be quite worried about this car. So if you like that kind of content, make sure to smash the like button, hit the subscribe, and let's crack on with the video. So first things first. One of the things that Mini always pride themselves with is the fact that they claim that their cars feel like go-karts. And they're not wrong, because this is a very, very cool car. I've always been a fan of the Mini Cooper JCW. However, in this car, there have been a couple of changes. The first one I'm going to touch on, you can hear, it's quite a loud car in terms of road noise. Now, Mini have kind of added they've returned the option of a 10% stiffer damper, which means that you get a lot more handling from the car when you're really kind of pushing on. It's a very clever damper system as well, because what they've also got is that if I was to, for example, have these dampers and I was to drive through a pothole, there's a valve in the damper which opens up, allows the fluid to release itself and will absorb the bump, which is actually a pretty good thing. But because these dampers are a bit stiffer, I can feel that road noise coming in through the cabin. And bear in mind that this is a very well built cabin. It is something that you need to be mindful of. So it's 20 years of Mini, so Mini are celebrating their 20th anniversary at the moment, if you like. They've kind of released so many cars over the years, and of course the Mini Cooper is an icon, and here we are test driving the latest and greatest. Although in terms of the changes, what really has changed? So the first thing we can talk about is the styling. So the new Mini JCW has, in fact not just the JCW, the new Mini lineup in general, has a lot more of an aggressive look to it. The front grille, or the front area, if you like, the front bumper, has a much larger radiator grille, and also you can see that with the JCW, it has a little bit of an Ali G look, a bit of a goatee look with the kind of piano black trim that kind of surrounds the radiator grille. You also get some new side skirts on this Mini JCW, which is a good thing. It looks very nice. But the thing that I like a lot is the rear diffuser. The back of the car looks very, very aggressive in my opinion. Those kind of twin center tailpipes look great. And yeah, I think it's a good thing. In terms of power performance, what do we get? We still have that 2-litre, the 2-litre 4-cylinder turbocharged engine that produces 228 horsepower and 350 newton meters of torque. That equates to a 6.10 to 62 time in the automatic box, which we're in now, which is an 8-speed box, or a 6.3 second 0 to 62 time in the 6-speed manual. So let's press on a bit. It is a really cool car to drive, and actually when you kind of get to grips with it, you really do start to unlock this JCW potential. It's very, very nice inside, and that's actually one of the things that I think Mini do very well, is they give you such a lovely interior for the money you pay for this car, and I'll touch on pricing shortly. Whereas if you look at something like an Abarth, this kind of stuff you don't get. And yeah, other things that have changed from an interior standpoint is we have the new digital display in the center. We also get a new refreshed steering wheel, which I'm a bit hit and miss on, if I'm honest. I mean, the feel of it is great, but you've got these kind of the kind of individual buttons have been removed to a bit of a kind of piano black one-piece button, which already, I've been driving for 5 minutes, it's completely covered in fingerprints, which would be a little bit annoying. But I think I prefer the look of the older steering wheel personally. I love the digital display. We saw that in the Mini GP3, and I've also got a brilliant head-up display. Other things that you get, and this is kind of the big one, is that you've kind of got an updated infotainment system. So now in front of me, we get an 8.8-inch touchscreen infotainment system as standard across all of the range. And I think it's really nice. They've also added some kind of different methods of use. So you have like a bit of a widget system. You can favoritize your menu, so it makes it fun, kind of intuitive and customizable for the driver. One thing I do love about the JCW and Minis in general is this kind of really nice kind of soul rev count. And I don't know if you can see, if I was to put my foot down, you can have a look. The revs start to rise as I get close to the red light. It is really, really cool. And I think it's just a nice, elegant touch that Mini do on their cars. Let's test that 0 to 60. There's no one behind me, so we're all good. go, foot to floor. There we go. A little laggy on the start, but that's okay. And even when I put it into second gear, I've got the traction control warning light on. And that's one of the things with this 8-speed box is that when you do engage the next gear, it does feel like the gears are pretty preloaded, and it does give you that little jump forward each time you kind of go into the gear, which is a great thing. It does feel really nice. In fact, I'm a fan of this auto box, if I'm honest with you. I always have been, and I think it works really nicely. But the good thing is that you still have the option for a 6-speed manual if that's something that you're after. The other thing to note as well on the new 2021 JCW is it's available in both hatch, which I'm in now, and convertible. And for the convertible only, you get this new colour, this zesty yellow, which very much looks like Sao Paulo yellow for the new BMW M4. Although I think it works on the M4, I don't necessarily think it works as much on the Mini Cooper JCW convertible. Personal preference. I think it's a very loud, out there colour. But I personally prefer the more subtle, you know, like this colour. It's like a dark green with red mirrors. I think I prefer that look on this car. Now, in terms of the kind of options packages, you can get yourself a heated steering wheel as kind of an optional extra. But also, if you want the whole JCW package, you can get the look on not just this car, but also on the Mini Cooper S, etc. So you can have all of the JCW looks, but without the engine. So that could be quite desirable for some customers. But if you wanted to go for that kind of JCW pack, what does it consist of? Well, you get the 18-inch wheels, you get the stiffer suspension, the stiffer dampers. You also get the piano black insert interior, which I think looks really nice. The only challenge with piano black, as I touched on earlier, is it's a magnet for fingerprints. So if you are a thief and you're going to rob one of these cars, please be aware your fingerprints will be all over this car if it's got the JCW pack. You also get the piano back, You also get the piano. No, what am I saying here? You also get the piano black exterior pack, which consists of the black surrounds around the headlights, and all of the kind of black panels are in a gloss black, which looks really, really cool. The handling on this little thing is sublime, and I really like that. Now, it's not as light on its feet as something like the Abarth 595, but this weighs a bit more as well, and you can feel that. Whereas the Abarth is definitely a lot more. It's a lot more lighter, and you can really throw it around. So a really good example is we're on our way to Cafe in the Machine now, and this turn here is a really good example in terms of the handling. We'll drop into second gear. We'll flick this around. Tiny bit of understeer, but very, very compliant around the corner. Steering feel feels great. I'm in the sports setting at the moment, and guys, this is a barrel of laughs, this car. It is really, really fun as we enter the Cotswolds, and look how beautiful this view is. Wow. Now, in terms of sound, I think that's where it lacks a little bit. I'm not going to bang too much about sound because I'm just grateful that there is some sound in these cars, because Mini have actually announced that as of 2030, all of their fleet will be electric. The last internal combustion engine car they will produce will be in 2025. Now that leads me on to my next point, is if you know that 2025 is going to be your last combustion engine car, what you want to do is stretch the current engines that you have as much as possible, which is why we've not really seen much of a power hike in here. In fact, we've not seen really anything different other than the suspension to the way this car drives. And that's something that Abarth have done for years. They've got away with it for 10 years. And actually that leads me on to the point as to why Abarth should be scared. Because Abarth, all they've done is update trims. They haven't really enhanced the performance. They haven't really, I mean, they've enhanced infotainment, they've added some new wheels and that. Mini have done that for the first time in this version here, kind of a facelift version, if you like. They might do it again, who knows. But Abarth customers have been destined and waiting for something new to come along, and Abarth have not delivered that. Now you look at one of these, this becomes a very attractive proposition for a 595 owner. You get an extra 50 horsepower off of the standard 595 Competizione. This runs about 230, the 595 Comp runs 180. Yes, the power to weight is slightly different because the Abarth is lighter, but you know, the seats on this car for me feel much nicer than on the Sabelts. The Sabelts, I find them a bit uncomfortable. I could happily do a long journey in this. The infotainment, the style, the luxury I get in this car is far superior to what you get in the Abarth. You get cruise control. You know, the auto box on this is a proper auto box, not like the MTA box you get on the Abarth. So there is a question as to whether Abarth should be worried or not. And actually, being brutally honest, and I'm a real Abarth guy, I think they should be. This is so fun to drive. So fun to drive. It is a little riot, this car. Let's not beat around the bush. It is a very cool car. There's an argument to say if this is the ultimate hot hatch. Maybe it used to be until the Yaris GR came out, and I'm yet to drive that car, but everybody who drives it says it's incredible. But when you look at an all-round package, you look at what you get from an interior, the cabin, the quality, the infotainment, it's BMW after all, let's be honest. And whilst Minis are not very mini anymore, there's a lot to be said about how good this car is. Now, when I go back to that comparison between Abarth and this, you look at something like a 180 comp and even the 695 models, they are, you know, they go for around 27. I mean, even some of the 695s are in the 30s now, which is a lot of money for a car that really hasn't evolved massively over the years. Whereas this car comes in at a base kind of on the road price. The one I'm driving right now comes in around 28.6, so 28,600 pounds, and that's on the road. If you were to opt for the manual car, you're paying 26.3, I believe, which is a very, very good value proposition. Bear in mind that if you look at how much you'd have to pay for an Abarth, you get so much here. Yes, you need to spec in a lot of the extras, but I still think it's a great value proposition. It is so much fun to drive, so much fun. So, am I wowed by the new Mini Cooper JCW? Look, I've always been a fan of the JCW. Have they made astronomical changes to this car to warrant me going, wow, this is insane? No, they haven't. But it's a nice little evolution in the form of a facelift to give it a bit more aggression. It kind of gives it a little bit more style and substance inside the cabin. An updated infotainment system, which is always welcome, particularly when you're the driver. You spend all of your time in here. It's nice to have the creature comforts of an 8.8-inch touchscreen as standard. So guys, there we go. That is my first impressions, first drive of the new 2021 Mini JCW. A great little car, not a massive update, but enough to call it a facelift. And again, if Abarth are watching, this is something to be scared of, because this is a lot of car for a brilliant price point. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below of the new Mini JCW. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like, share and subscribe, guys, and I'll see you all very soon on the next one. Take care.